Zinbryta is a new investigational treatment for multiple sclerosis. It has a targeted mechanism of action which modulates the immune system and reduces inflammation. And it does so by increasing the activity of immunoregulatory cells while reducing the activity of cells that potentially can damage the nervous system. And it does so without broadly depleting the immune system. Zinbryta has completed the phase 3 late-stage trials, and we're awaiting a regulatory decision, which we expect in mid-year. The idea of the medication was to provide a targeted mechanism of action in a pathway that was thought to be active in multiple sclerosis and create a new option for patients who previously weren't maintained or didn't have their disease controlled on existing therapies. The current program in Zinbryta is for relapsing remitting MS. As I mentioned, Zinbryta is a targeted therapy that potentially can provide a different benefit risk profile by not depleting the immune system, but upregulating cells that reduce inflammation and reducing the activity of cells that promote inflammation. The current formulation of Zinbryta is a monthly injection that's delivered self-administered by a subcutaneous route and obviously offers patients a different approach by decreasing the frequency of treatment. This is a complementary treatment that is a different approach. The reason that we took this approach is that MS is a very heterogeneous disease, that different patients have different mechanisms of disease, and any one patient during the course of their illness may actually have a different need or a different mechanism of brain injury. So it's very important to have treatments that have different mechanisms of action, because it's only through providing this range of options that patients can select a treatment that is best for them. Yeah, we think that the monthly subcutaneous injection is which takes a minute, is a very short inconvenience for patients. It's for many patients it's preferable than taking oral medications, and certainly simpler from the healthcare system perspective than providing intravenous infusions. It was very interesting 144-week data which look at cognitive outcomes, and we looked at a very interesting endpoint called the Symbol Digit Modality Test. And the Symbol Digit Modality Test is a measure of cognitive speed processing. And we found that there was a very significant difference in the speed of cognitive processing in Zinbryta compared to Avonex. At the simplest level, very effective control of inflammation can potentially improve cognitive function simply by reducing the extent of disease activity. There may be other mechanisms for that which are currently under study. 2% of patients who are treated with Zinbryta have a serious cutaneous adverse event. However, it's usually manageable, resolves either through steroids or antihistamines or discontinuation of the medication. And in 94% of patients who have cutaneous adverse event or skin reaction, it's mild or moderate and may not require treatment. The other adverse event that we're seeing is liver adverse events, which are picked up usually by monitoring blood tests. And the liver adverse events, obviously would require discontinuation of the medication in some instances, and are generally identified through regular monitoring of blood tests. I think it'll expand the number of options that patients have, and there still are patients, in spite of many available marketed therapies, who have unmet needs, either through the patient preference in terms of route of administration, or in terms of efficacy, or in terms of the safety profile of the medications. And having a new mechanism of action with a unique benefit-risk profile and a disease that has a lot of variability is really a good thing.